1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the number of districts in Tengah new neighborhood. There is a fan who actually commented asking me whether I can do a video on a garden court based on my previous video I did about Tengah. So I decided to explore the two districts in more detail. Without further ado, let's go. I'm at Plantation Plaza right now. Behind me is the Tengah Community Club, which is now works in progress. This mall may look newly empty, but there is one coffee shop we have just opened behind me, Kofu, and they actually sell a variety of dishes. This being a new mall, most of the stores, as you can see, are still under construction. You can hear in the background there are construction noise. So you can see that there are empty stores waiting to be leased out. And you can see there's an empty space and some familiar stores such as McDonald's and Giant. Leaving Plantation Plaza, you can see the leaves on the buildings of HDB flats. So this is a hint that I've arrived at the Garden District of Tengah. Basically, for the Garden District, the block of HDB flats typically start with a 2. The status of a garden court as of now is that the block of flats is almost complete. I guess it's about 90 or 95%. But however, the area is still being cordoned up because of a construction area. And if you look behind me, at the garden waterfront, the flats are still under construction. As you can see that this town is still developing and the blocks of flats are being completed batch by batch. And if you look in front of me, that you will notice that there is actually a new Jurong Regional line which actually serves this area. You can see the workers behind me that they are actually transferring the nurseries, the small plants from the nurseries to the soil over here. And this is actually used to make a Tengah like more called a green city or a green town, which plants are actually included in this town. Even you look at behind me and there are still construction in progress for the flats. And we can say that Tengah is only partially developed. Even the traffic light is still not in operation. And to guide the traffic, water barriers, red and white, are being used. But in the Plantation District, that there is a section of flats which are already open. Let's explore in more detail. This cluster of flats is called Plantation Grange. You can see that as I'm walking up the slope, I'm walking towards the fitness corner, and you can see that the various greenery are being in this sub-district. There are pipes laid on the ground to aerate the plants. And there is also shelters. And in front of me, the fitness corner and the playground where adults and kids can bond together as we play. One feature about this cluster of flats in this sub-district is that you may think that the void deck is actually at level 2. Well, that's not the case. If you look behind me and beyond the railing, that is actually what we call it as the car park. The car park is actually located at the ground surface, but in this cluster of flats they call it the basement. Essentially, you can see a clear path in front of me where you can see the playgrounds, the fitness corners, and I believe this is one of the common corridors in this sub-district where residents can bond together. There is also another common corridor which I'm walking right now. You can already start to see the residents making use of these facilities. For example, like walking with a dog, and also the adults bonding with their children. And I observe, while residents have already shifted into the flats, you can still see a lift involving the construction workers, mostly doing the final touch-ups to the flats. A notable feature in front of me, they split into recyclables and general waste. they want to make this a reputation of a green town. So you can actually already see that there are quite a lot of greenery initiatives being implemented. I noticed the children's playground in front of me. They have very cute structures. For example, like a house, like a cow with some animals, I believe. It seems that they are resembling a farmhouse over here. By setting the plantation district into two, you can see right in front of me that there is a common corridor or a common green. There are still some construction works being done, and this green corridor is supposed to be like a park connector, connecting the residents in the Tengah neighborhood from one district to the other. You can also see that a slide in front of me, it resembles trees, tree houses. It seems that there's a lot of emphasis being focused on greenery over here. I believe that this corridor will connect to the nearby neighborhoods from Tengah, which includes Jurong East, Choa Chu Kang, Bukit Batok. As we recall that Tengah used to be a forested area under MINDEF. Due to the scarcity of land in Singapore, which is why the forested area have to be cleared for more blocks of flats. I hope for a more seamless connection once the green corridor in Tengah is ready, connecting between towns in Singapore, where people can cycle, jog, and for children to maybe even skateboard, play scooters. This is an initiative I like for the community to thrive, whether it's young or whether it's old. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now at the Plantation Acres, and I'm actually excited to see what are the features of the Plantation Acres flats. I noticed in front of me there is a HDB interim shuttle bus service from late May to July. So this bus, they have the morning shift, afternoon shift, and evening shift, in which a bus will travel around Tengah and increase the convenience of residents staying here. Talking about the Tengah bus service around the town, I'm sure that it is free, but likely residents will need to do some registration. So I hope the trial run is a success. There is one distinctive trait about those flats in Plantation Acres. You can see in front of me that there is actually a fitness corner, which is essentially at level 9 of one of the HDB blocks. This is not only the HDB block that has a fitness corner. You can also see that there are similar ones right across in front of me. And there is also a shelter that seemingly looks like a barbecue, but just that there are no barbecue grills for safety reasons, I presume. But it's actually also a good place for residents who stay in this area to distress as needed. There is also a swing for 2 people right behind me. It's good that such leisure spaces are being used for residents. Of course, it's not surprising that plants are almost everywhere in Tengah neighborhood to enhance the greenery of the neighborhood.